Last week we saw some retracements on the DSY, but the geopolitical tension between the Iran and the Israel did not affect the market like we anticipated last week. But what we saw last week was a little bit of a ranging market, especially on GU. But on Friday there is a volatility on that GU, which make it break that range. So next week, what are we looking at next week? I don't think the effect of the geopolitical tension is much to really affect the market. So what will happen is that we are having a slowdown, that is a retracement on DSY. So if you use your Fibonacci retracement, we will anticipate where the retracement will be over. So let's just use it. As you can see, in the daily time frame, there is what we call a rejection at this level. So if you switch to the daily time frame, you will see that after price hit here, it rejects, and we have a long bearish candlestick here, and it be like it wants to actually buy here. Then on Friday we saw this candle close, which means that the bears are still very much here, are still very much around. They have not given up yet. So if you use the 4-hour time frame, you see how price reject through all this level of 106.418. So as you can see, so next week I'm anticipating a retracement on the DSY, which means that dollar might be weaker for like 2-3 days before it later gain back its strength, because we have so many economic activities next week. If you check the forexfactory.com, which we will check together, there's a lot of high impact news next week. So probably we anticipate DSY to retrace back to 50% retracement level or 61.5 retracement level before we see the bullish move back to break the 106.418. So let's see how it goes next week. But this is what I'm actually looking at. Next week will actually be for retracement, but due to the high impact news, you might see a lot of volatility coming back to the market next week, which on Monday and Tuesday we'll see this volatility that will drag this DSY back to this area, and probably maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then it will keep up the strength and continue to move to the upside. But for now, I'm still anticipating a slowdown in the DSY to retrace, because if you see this is the high, and then this one did not create a new high, it rejects here, and another candle that formed here before the closing of Friday did not create a new high, which means that sellers are gradually stepping in, and then we'll see a retracement. So pardon me, I have flu, so that's why you'll see the sound doing like this. So probably let's see how it goes. But before we go to the individual currency, because we have like 45 currency we want to check for next week on my watch list. But before we continue with the individual pairs, let's check the economic activities so far of next week. It's a quiet day Monday, except the ECB president's speech. That is from the Lagarde. So she might actually speak on Monday, but that's what we have on the economic activities on Monday. On Tuesday we have the French, German, and then it's French and German flash manufacturing PMI from the ECB. So it's a high impact news. That is Nigerian time 8:15 and then to 9 a.m. That is the duration of that particular news right there. So you have to actually anticipate this, and then you will not want to be at the wrong side of this move. And then Tuesday too, we have the pounds flash manufacturing PMI. We have the new home sales from the US dollar. So this home sales too can be used to determine the inflation of the United States. So probably you need to just take note of it. And on Wednesday we have the Australian dollar CPI, which is a high impact news too. on Wednesday. That is at 2:30 a.m. Nigerian time. So if you can wake up to trade this, as you can see, the AUD and XND news, they always go in one direction. So probably you can wake up to trade the AUD CPI on Wednesday. It will be very, very much okay. So we have euro, we have pounds news, which is high impact news, and then the US dollar flash service PMI on Tuesday. Wednesday we have Australian dollar CPI, and then which is the high impact news. On Thursday, yeah, we have advanced GDP out of the United States dollar. So probably they forecast a slower GDP, because I think their previous is 3.4%, so they forecast 2.5% annual advance GDP. So let's see what they will release in their GDP. And then the number of people filing for unemployment benefits is coming out on Thursday in the United States. So the previous one is 212, and they are anticipating 215, which means that we are still in line if we talk about DSY retracement this week, because what is the aftermath of the retracement is US dollar weakness. And if you see this number of unemployment benefits coming back higher than the previous one, you will see US dollar weakness in the picture. So on Thursday too, we have pending home sales from the United States. So probably on Thursday you should look at the US dollar. We might have a lot of volatility on that particular currency on Thursday. On Tuesday it should be on Euro PS and the Pounds PS. On Friday it should be on Japanese yen PS, because we have BOJ interest rates. You know, they've moved out of their negative interest rates last month, and let's see what they will release this month. So I'm anticipating a higher rate, because if they move out of their negative interest rate, they will keep increasing their interest rate so that their currency will be stronger. So let's see how they will do that this week. And don't forget that all those Japanese PS are overbought, so which means that you might see enough of powers of Japanese yen strength next week, because they might come with that. See a lot of spike, a lot of volatility coming back to the Japanese yen next week. So you don't want to keep buying USDPY, keep buying EUR keep buying KJPY, no, because you see that they are overstretched. So what you need to do is just to wait and see the reaction, because on Thursday and Friday they flash you with the intervention in the Asian section. You see the massive sell before the later price later reject and started going up. So probably this might be some kind of they are teasing you that okay, you are still coming with the intervention, just take this one as awareness, you understand? So don't be caught in the wrong direction so that you not lose a lot of money. So on Friday we have copy C price index, and then USD revised consumer sentiment on the US dollar. As you all know, as I used to tell you guys, that copy C price index too is an inflation measure news, and is an indicator to measure US dollar inflation. So let's see how and then what they will release there. So they are anticipating the same result as forecast as the previous one. That's the forecast. So let's see what they will release. So that's that about the economic activities next week. So focus on the euro and pounds on Tuesday. Probably it can be euro USD and GBP USD, because the volatility is coming back to this because of the high impact news. And on Wednesday you can pick Australian dollar. Thursday pick US dollar against other currency, and then probably before Friday you will have been seeing JPY movement, but on Friday you should know that you can actually trade JPY on Friday for maximum opportunities. So going to the individual pair, the first one I want to check is gold. As you can see, gold is telling us probably maybe it has hit the top. We don't know, because it fails to create a new high at this particular level. So what's my advice is that if you are in, you take your profit at 2415, because we might see what we call a long sell for a retracement on gold. And then if the sales come, it will come with a high volatility. So probably if you're in a buy, just take your profit at 2415.38. So probably price might reject at this area, and then you'll see a massive sell to the downside. So the only thing that can make me to actually go long on gold again, because I actually go long last week and then I took my profit at 2385. Yeah, this is when I took my profit, and then the second entry is still running, so which I'm planning to take my profit at 2415. So after this 2415, what can actually make me buy gold again is if it break 2415 and then I actually see a retracement that prompts the buyers to be active around that particular area. So if not, I'm anticipating a rejection here and then probably a massive sell-off for a retracement. So on past US dollar last week, we saw the breakout of this range last week, this small range. You can see this range right there, and price break through it to the downside, which means that last week we anticipate a retracement which did not come to pass, and then my trade personally hit stop loss at that environment. So this is what I'm actually looking at. If you check the monthly time frame, you'll see that we are in a long sell setup after the break of this November 2023 range. So it broke that particular range last month. So probably this month we should see price coming back to 1.20953 or next month. So that is what I'm actually looking at on GU. So that's the monthly time frame. If you come back to the weekly time frame, you see that there's a break of this trend line to the downside, which means that we might actually see a retracement back to this particular area before we see the continuation to the downside. So using the daily time frame, this is what you should look at. Probably I'm still anticipating the retracement, because after the break of the range we will see a retracement. But if it did not do a retracement, just find your a sell entry at this particular area. So which means that any retracement you see around these surroundings should be an opportunity for you to look for a bearish setup, and that bearish setup might last to 1.21918 or 1.20953. That's what you should look at that particular environment, because what I'm actually looking at on GU is a long sell setup. But retracement will come. After the retracement, you see the impulsive movement and then the retracement movement. So after the retracement, then you see the impulsive movement. So this one, I'm actually anticipating a pullback to this range, and then look for a sell setup to the downside, because after breaking this, last week I was anticipating a move from this particular area to do a retracement here and then reject. If you put the trend line here, you see what I'm actually saying, that retracement might happen, but it did not happen. As you can see, there might see retracement back to this area, but that did not happen last week. What we saw was a break of the range in the probably 1 hour time frame, and then to break that range. So probably we should look for retracement into that range, and then I don't think you should look for there are some markets that will trap you, that will do something like this, that will break the range, go back into the range, and then you see a breakout. But I don't think this one is going to do that. There's another that will break this range, go back, do this, and then and this will be a trap. But on GU, I think the volatility is supporting the downside. Sellers are much more than buyers. So probably you see a retracement probably back to this range, and then you look for a rejection on that range. So, but if that range now break out, then you can actually look for a retracement buy. But I'm not supporting any buy, so I'm selling GU or do nothing, because this has been breaking out, and then probably if it break out, you'll see a rejection from here. if this range breakout, the rejection will come out from this particular area. So that's what I'm looking at on US dollar. I'm still anticipating a retracement back to this level. This level of resistance. This is a level of resistance right here. So I'm anticipating a retracement back to that level and a sell setup from here to break this particular low. So this is what I'm actually looking at on Euro US dollar. So I'm waiting to see how price reacts to 1.07 to 57. Any rejection I see here is an opportunity to sell Euro US dollar. So going to the Australian dollar US dollar, and I said on Tuesday we have the Australian dollar CPI, which you don't want to miss, and then this is in a downtrend already. So what you want to do is because if you use the Fibonacci retracement, you see that it has already rejected at the 50% fib level. As you can see, this is a rejection at the 50% fib level, which indicates a sell setup. Okay, this is 61%, 61.8%, which indicates a sell setup. So on Monday I will be on a sell on AUD USD back to this low. So this should be your first TP if it goes as planned. This should be your entry after watching the first 4-hour candle of market open on Monday. So this probably should be your entry, and then this should be your TP1, and then it will actually form a new low right here, and then your stop loss will be above 0.643 to 1. So on SND US dollar, I'm actually looking for a sell setup too on SND US dollar. So probably the same thing on AUD USD. You see a sell setup from here, and then probably you enter after the reaction of the 4-hour candle on Monday. That is the first candle that happened. Watch out the 4-hour close. If it closes bearish or so, then you go for a sell setup right there, and then it will form a new low, which will break out this particular low right here. This is a low, so probably price will break the low to the downside. So look for a sell setup on SND US dollar next week. And as you can see, all things being equal, we saw a rejection at this probably supply level, and then price continue going down to the downside, and as price close on Friday, it closes bearish. So probably next week we should see more move to the downside next week. So probably next week we should also look at safe havens currency next week, and commodity currency weakness next week should be in the picture. So let's see how price react to all this level. US dollar JPY, last week Forex forecast, we anticipate a sell here, and then price boom hits our stop loss. So this week we will be neutral on US dollar JPY because it has break through this range, and then you see how many pips it's used to buy. So we just need to be patient on this. If you check the monthly time frame, you see that the whole directional bias is to the upside as price break the 151%, so 151 level. So you can see the next level is 159. So should wait and see how price reacts to all this area. But if you want to actually trade this, you should be looking for a buy setup, not a sell setup on US dollar JPY. But the volatility from here is not that much again. So probably let's see how it goes. But if you want to look for buy, you might actually look for buy at this particular area. So just know that anything below this area, you are not part of the buy setup, but anything above this area is where you actually buy the US dollar JPY. So on SND JPY, that is the next pair we want to look at. You see this what the JPY did last week, this high volatility to the downside, almost like 100 something pips, and reject during the London section. So let's see how price reacts to this area. But I'm still on a bullish bias on SND JPY, but like I said, don't be caught on the wrong side of any move, because this still looks like a bearish setup too. If you see as price reacts to this area, so probably price might shock you and then you see a sell. That's what I'm actually looking at. You see a sell back to this area, back to this level. If I'm to trade this, I will actually sell back to this level. Then probably I might be looking for a buy bias here, but I'll still sell back to that particular level. Like I said, commodities currency next week should be weak because of what we are seeing in the picture. And then Bitcoin halving has been done and then successful, so probably we should be looking for more money coming into Bitcoin and then money leaving the currency. That is the game they might actually play next. So on the Euro JPY too, we should look for a neutral setup, because you might be expecting me to say buy sell. No, this is a neutral game. So within this level, shouldn't be doing anything between this particular level right there. And then probably personally, I'll be looking for a sell, but not so soon, because if you see this level, price has rejected this level twice, and then the next thing we should be looking at is a sell setup in the 1 hour time frame too. We should see price coming back to the downside. This is a very, very strong resistance, and the price has hit that particular resistance 1, 2, 3 and reject. So if I were you, I might be looking for a sell setup to the downside from this particular area back to 162.593. So guys, this is the PS on my watch list this week. There are not many, and then it's because of market is somehow ranging, and then we didn't see much volatility except last week, Thursday and Friday, which we saw on the US dollar, and then the Friday volatility which we saw on the JPY PS, this move on Friday. So that is it. You need to trade safe, use your protective stop loss, and don't forget to use your entry parameters to enter a trade. You want your entry parameters to be completed before you actually open to a trade. Don't just open blindly. And if you still want to use the GBP US dollar bot, it's still very much available, and then you can contact me on Twitter. The link is in the description box, and then the link to a verified brokers tool is in the description box too. So just click on it, register and deposit, and then start trading. So the link to the Telegram and then Telegram channel and the Telegram group is in the description. So that is where I drop my everyday analysis, where I enter and then where I exit the trade. So probably join us in the Telegram. Let's take profit and stop loss together. So guys, good luck. Have a good trading week.